Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle if you're new here, and I know it's been a while and a lot of things are happening, including with my health. I'm wearing a heart monitor and it's because I get really tired and winded, and sometimes I'm just out of breath, and so and my chest will hurt, especially over here where my heart is. And I don't know if that is what it is or if it's my lungs or what. So we're running a lot of tests, but that's not really what I want to show y'all today, so we'll talk more about that some other time. But we started rotational grazing, and I mean, I wish you all could see how lush this pasture is turning. We made it one time around the entire pasture, and we used to have giant coastal hay, and you can see it's starting to come back. I mean, there's some grasses that are way taller than others, and it's just happened just because we did this. And so I'm super excited. Rotational grazing works. We have not had to worm the animals. We've had a lot of rain, so we're actually going to be checking them just to make sure they're fine. We are starting rotational grazing with the sheep here in a few days once our electric charger gets here, and that'll help. Right now we are facing lots of parasites. Like I said, there's been a lot of rain and a lot of the little ones are struggling, and we actually have lost a few, so it's just put us on our toes, and we're working them really hard and just trying to make sure they're okay. And so far I think we caught the rest of them except for one on time, which she's not young, so that's kind of sad, but hopefully she pulls through. We'll see. So typically during the spring and in the summer we struggle with coccidiosis, and we have not had that problem this year, and I'm hoping that we don't. So I'm hoping as we continue to move them, we will just avoid that. But it took down a few of our cows last year, and part of it was because we didn't really notice. We were in the drought and the animals were just grazing wherever, so we just felt like, okay, they're fine. You know, you come, you make sure they have water, and then one day it's just like, hey, that cow's not getting up. So we've just been a lot more diligent this year to be among them. And I think that's what this these hot wires do in rotational grazing them, is that it helps you be with the animals, connect with them more, check on them, make sure they're doing well, their needs are being met. And that way, if there is anything, you can address it pretty early. And our hope is to move away from commercial wormers and try to do things more naturally. However, we're not there, and I'm not completely opposed to, like, let's say I start using herbals and they're not working, I will go back to commercial wormers and worm the animals. So if we catch things early, we've noticed it's just been really good for the animals, so it's just staying on top of it. And so right now with the sheep, we're just going to be checking them once a week for sure, and then the cattle every like 3 to 5 days we're out here moving them. It just depends on how long it takes them to graze the area. And I'm actually really surprised it's taking them a lot longer going around the second time compared to the first time, and they're more picky. So we'll just see. I'm marking down on a sheet. I have a graph made of how long it takes them to go through each section, and so we're going to be logging every move and how long they're in that little paddock for. And right now I have what, 2, 4, 6 and a little baby. His growth is stunted though, because when we bought him he was sick, and we did a lot of things to get him better, and he's just growing a lot slower. So he's 9 months now, so we're going to wean him. I'm planning on hopefully castrating him today, and then, so his testicles are still small, and that's him right there. And so anyways, we're planning on castrating him, moving him away so that we can get milk from his adopted mom, because she's my last cow in milk, and I'm hoping it's enough for us, so we'll see. And then I invested in this solar IntelliShock and 60, and I have honestly really liked it. It's easy to move, it's portable, it stays charged. The cattle do not like it, so it keeps them in here. There have only been a few times that they've gotten out, but it's not because the electric fencing wasn't working. We had a really bad storm, and the post fell over, and so they were able to get out, but it was pretty easy to get them back in. One struggle that we did face is that in the front pasture there are not many trees. Let me show you. So this is about maybe a third of the way where this tree right here is. And then over there is coming from the road this way about a quarter of the way. And so we always have to make trails to come to trees. We have one over here. This one's really tiny, but it worked out. We have this one that's literally right by the fence. And so sometimes, like I said, there are paths, but what I learned from Joel Salatin in his book, Salad Bar Beef, is that you make a path just wide enough. So the area where they walk through is about 6 feet, but it does open pretty widely around the tree. That way they can lay wherever they need to and get shade. It's just the path to there is smaller so they don't continue grazing the whole area that you just took them off, or large chunks of it. If you look over here at this tree, you can kind of see around it. There are some taller grasses, and other areas it is shorter, but that's because they got to move through it. So we do have a lot of hoses that bring water to every place on the pasture that we need to. And then I wanted to show y'all that I started out with these ugly white plastic T-posts, and they did the job for the first year. However, they're brittle, they break easily, they face sun rot pretty quickly. So this year we graduated to these metal ones, and then they didn't have a lot of all of the same kind, so I went ahead and bought these other metal ones that you just attach these plastic pieces and you can adjust where the hot wire can sit on it. And then we always have minerals out for the cows. It has a hole in there to let out the water that gets trapped from the rain. I don't have one of those cool fancy mineral buckets where it has kind of like an umbrella. When the wind blows or whatever, it shields it. So if it's raining, the cover will tend to shield the minerals from getting wet. We didn't get to do all the things we wanted to do yesterday. We did move the cattle at the end of the day, but we didn't get to catch that little bull and castrate him. But that is next on the agenda. We just had a lot going on. We had 2 game nights going on, one at our house, one at somebody else's house, and it was crazy. So I will see y'all in my next video, and hopefully I can share with y'all how we moved them from one section of the pasture to the next, and maybe just, some things we're up to. I'll see you on my next video. Take care. Bye.